Hello, this is a final completion of the project here, using the boring head to do this. The other thing I did recently, I'm going to try to make this a quick video, but I did put on, okay, let's see, I got to figure out where I'm at here. Oh, okay, I'm right here. I made a new oil slinger. This one had broke off, so I made this because I modeled it after I just sort of copied the design. This is off a Briggs & Stratton engine. This little thing here, so it's just sort of the same, but I made it towards this height. I'm hoping this will work. We'll see what happens, but it goes towards the center and everything. So this is just an oil slinger. It doesn't, that engine doesn't have an oil pump, and neither does this. It just uses an oil slinger. But since the slinger broke off, I had some issues, and I had to do that. So this is, I'm just going to go through the assembly here. So this is the bottom pan. Here's the head. It's got reed valves and stuff in there, and I'm going to move this down anyways for you to see. And this just goes on the tank there. So I'll probably just fast forward this, make this a quicker video, but I'm just going to do this part of the assembly and stuff. I forgot some stuff. Let me pause this quick. Okay, here we go. See if I can do this by my fingers here. I'm gonna need a screwdriver. Well, hold on a second. I'm just going to get my ring compressor. I might have it handy. Let me check real quick. Okay, welcome back. Well, I have to say, since this is an interruption, this is actually the next day. I had to pause the video and stop doing what I was last night because I fell and got a big gash in my arm. I should have, everybody insisted I went and got stitches, but I bandaged it up and closed it up and did some tape stuff. So I'm continuing where I'm at now. So let's see. I was gonna try to maybe use my spring compressor. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't want to disrupt this gasket. So I don't know if it's so stuck on this bottom part. I'm just trying to get these in here. All right. I'm gonna pause this out. I'm just gonna videos doing this. Let me figure this out a little bit. Okay, surprisingly, I did just use a ring compressor and tapped it in. It did go in. I was kind of concerned about this, but it looks like there's a little bit of spacing and enough for this thin material. That worked, so that's what we're going with. Fighting it, I wasted all that time. Alright, let's see. Let's go back here to where it's in the bottom. I don't know where it's at now. I did that because I was watching the journal, see, for it to be all the way down because it's 2-stroke, so it's off and on. So I put that there, and with the way it would sit straight to the bottom. So this way. I'm not really going to bother with the torque wrench, not this style. I'm just getting certain about that on both of them. Yeah, I'm going to dump a little more oil. I don't think I did a whole bunch of extra oil since I let it sit here since last night, since I did this on my arm. So, about all she does anyway, so we'll just throw a bunch of oil all over the place. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to have a problem. I need to put this pan on here because when I'm got it turned over trying to knock that in, yeah, and I'm going to have to deal with this one some. Okay, I don't have to bother with the gasket right now anyways. So I'm just going to put this on here as a protective thing. I only put like 2 or 3 bolts in it, just to hold it in place. That creates also oh, I totally forgot to make sure. I'm sure this will work. There's plenty enough stroke clearance. I think I'm going to have an issue. But I forgot with everything that happened with this. That will work. I'll just leave it together as an assembly. Wants to stay in there with those. Anyhow, Okay. Make sure we got some slickum on there. Well, usually in most engines, see you have the ring gaps there. You usually oppose them. It might rotate a little bit. You just at least get them started that way, so you don't have blow by. Which is a sealed crankcase. I don't suppose that would matter, but that's still just basic piston stuff. That's how things work. Okay. Get some more. My compressor. So this one's a little. Get that on there. Just so there's just a little dry. I don't know if that one ended up being too dry when I. Since I put it in and stuff. Since last night it sat, and I really didn't put some on, I forgot. Ooh, that wrist pin that's what it was. I can feel the wrist pin, I had to push it in. A little extra. Well, actually, I'm going to do it this way. Make sure I got rings on there. Okay, we're going to give that a go. Ba-bam! Ring compressors come in handy. Very handy. Okay. This one's easy. It's not in a V on an engine block, so it's just straight down. So I just made sure this was in the bottom, and I just drove it down so it'll be within reach. Stuff's in my way now. I just wanted to make sure. See, I didn't even need to put this on, but delicate business sometimes building engines, or for all intents and purposes, this is like Briggs and Stratton type of engine connecting rod and piston. Same kind that you find in an engine, had oil rings and compression rings. Yeah, I'll show you. This one didn't have the bolts in it. This is a brick. Well, that's not going to help it if I want to put it back together. Okay, well, anyways, see, well, this is a little bit different for oil control ring, and That what you saw in there is like a small block Chevy 350. That's about how most other ones are. This actual engine one is a little bit different, but that's oil and 2 compression ones. This is different. It's got spiral locks instead of this that had plastic buttons. But see, aluminum kind of connecting rod, no bearings. I have to figure out which way it was supposed to go now because it come off. But I'm just showing you for comparison. It's like, look at that. You saw what went in there? It's off a Briggs and Stratton 5 horsepower engine. That's like almost identical. But sometimes it's a little bit tedious when you're doing engine stuff. For those who don't know, as you know, make sure it's lubricated right. Make sure you got, you know, clean properly. Put it together easy so you don't gall stuff and gouge it and cause you further issues. Make sure it'll last. And like with this one, I don't want to damage that oil slinger on the one side. Oh, right where she should be. I'm just spraying some extra oil down there so when I move the pistons up and down it'll get along on the skirts and down in there just to start getting lubrication everywhere on parts. I don't think these things are probably more than 20 foot-pounds. Yeah, it's flexing this metal, so it should feel like a little bit tighter to bottom out. So I want to make sure it's not, because this side's different now. Okay, so here we go. Moment of truth. That's gonna it's gonna work. A little close, but not too bad. Yeah, probably more clearance than some engine put a stroker stuff in there, but that thing right there. So, all right, well. I'm matching it back up with this side because this is the line groove that the bottom has, so this goes on the top this way. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause this for a second. I'm going to go. I've been using that wrench because I don't have my other tools out here, ratchet and the 3/8 socket and all that stuff. I'm going to go find some of that. It's probably out in my car or something. Alright, I already had the ratchet. I just needed the 3/8 socket. Little trick, if you didn't know that, I do that with these big enough screwdriver, make it a driver. Just initially running them bolts down. I shouldn't have any issues because that piece, I made it to the same height as the oil slinger that came with it, but let's just make sure nothing hits. I'd say that's good. This bottom buttoned up and put the top on, and this will be about ready to go. There's not much to it, so I'll show you something I just noticed here a second ago. So I turn it over. I mean, it has that kind of gasket. We'll have to see. I was thinking about running a higher level of oil, so it's not just so dependent on those oil slingers, and put like a pipe extension here so it'll go higher, but I will have to see. Okay. Oh, good go there. Okay. Piece of other kind of crud getting around anywhere. These little holes right here, there's actually like PCV ventilation, positive crankcase ventilation, what it means on the engine. But these little holes that go down here into the bottom, so if there's any blow by, pushes it into the crankcase, it'll push it up and compress it in with everything else. Okay. And add just a little bit more oil around. The top part up in here. That probably, I think it's got enough spacing anyways. It really doesn't compress like a regular engine does, because all it does is keep jamming, pulls in the air and there's going to be a check valve in there somewhere. There usually is, and the air comes in on top, and it keeps pushing on top into the tank, pushes open the check valve, and then the check valve closes. So it just pushes pump the air in there. So it's not doesn't compress it in here. It compresses up through the tube and pushes out, and the check valve's in the thing, I believe. Because like I said, these are just like reed valves, kind of like a 2-cycle engine would have. And it pulls it in here from one of them and then compresses it out. Let me see. I gotta remember which. Okay, let me look on there. It's gonna go this way. Oh, it come off. Didn't want it to do that. Well, while I've got it off, let's take a look at it. So, okay, these are the inlet valves, because the air goes in here. It just has a little filter element in here, and it comes in. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more while I got this off. So air compressor, like, just basically, like, as you can see, just has these little flapping valves. These are just reed valves. And then see, there's these other ones. Okay, so it pulls it in from this side, and it pushes it out this way, and it goes through the chamber where there's a hose that comes out this way. So this is just a protector thing. This is so the air is drawn in from this side, and the top, and from these. The air comes down in the top, and these flap open, and it goes down here. The piston draws it in, and then it pushes it up. This will close, this one will open, and it pushes the air out into the tank. That's how that does that. It was sort of stuck on there. I didn't want it to come apart because I just, just reusing the gaskets. I don't have any other gaskets, so I don't want it to have a problem. Well, it was there, so maybe we'll round it up. Okay, I found this dinosaur of a something or other. It'll work. I had a socket right here in my box. I have it from some of my lathe stuff, but hopefully I should have enough clearance here. Looks like it should work. Yeah. On the side, go crossways. You're always going to kind of crisscross, so when you have like a manifold type of thing, it always bolts on straight. Most people know that. I don't know if it needs a whole lot more torque than what I've done there. And this aluminum threads is probably pretty tight. Whoa, I got the air coming out. Oh, oil on the top of them. Probably don't. It's a musical instrument too. Well, that looks like it's pretty good. I'm gonna figure out some of this other stuff. I think. I don't remember if this came off. This, it may not have been used, but I put that stud there because I think that's where most logically, it seems like it should have gone. Where's my other parts? There's a piece of felt. That's one thing I didn't like about this is it didn't have a thread-in piece. Just no, it was in the front right here like this. It looks like it comes up to and through where that vent hole is. I don't remember taking anything out of there. I mixed up some. Oh, look at this. I did have it. Here's the broke off piece. It was in here. I didn't want to try to aluminum weld it on. I just did that. Well, of course, if I wanted to try, I certainly have it. There wasn't one on the other side, and I don't think none of these bolts fit. I got them mixed up in here. Some of the stuff's for like the Briggs and Stratton engine over there. Huh. Well, it's just lower crankcase ventilation. Yeah, I guess it's probably a vent. Maybe there wasn't nothing there. Well, it looks like there was. I don't know. I'm going to have to just try it or look around and see if I have something that goes with it. I don't know. Okay, well, I'll come back once I have this installed, and we'll probably just do a test runs all.